What's up, traders? Clay here. I am here with Derrick. Derrick Leasure just got one of our biggest payouts, and you'll notice Derrick has a TopOne trader shirt on. Actually, pretty funny story here. I've known Derrick for a while now, probably going on like a year and a half. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Derrick was our first customer when we launched TopOne. Of course, he knew me from one of my mentoring groups, and that's kind of what he's doing with his strategy and stuff. And he was like, "Man, I want one of those shirts," because he saw me wearing one, saw Matt wearing one, my brother Bryson. I was like, "Yeah, we'll try to figure that out." And of course, we actually only had shirts made for us specifically, and like 4 a piece. And because we had some V-neck, and we had some crew ones or polos like that. Yeah, I was like, yeah, dude, I'll get you a shirt. The thing is he hit me up like a week later. It's like, dude, the shirt hasn't come in yet. And I was like, man, I got to wash it.
Well, the reason why I did that and I seemed anxious was I was going on a trip to wear it to the airport.
Right.
I wanted to represent,
Yeah, for sure.
that
Yeah.
was,
Well, the thing is the shirt he's wearing was literally the shirt off my back because I had like 3 of them. Luckily, it was the same size. I'm glad you could wear it for today's interview. And so anybody that hits us up that wants some merch and shirts and stuff, get some made.
I'll send it to you off his back. I can attest he does wash it.
Yeah, I will do that for sure. So, okay, man, I have a few set questions here for you, Derrick. Derrick does not know any of these, and I'm sure we'll kind of meander around a little bit. But first and foremost, why did you choose TopOne?
For one thing, I mean, honestly, the honest answer is that, because we go back and I think it's probably even a little further than that. I've had my fill of a lot of the prop firm things, not being paid. I remember my first big payout of like 8 grand, never got it. It was just, well, your trading style doesn't match. I'm like, well, what's that supposed to mean? Because I followed every rule. I did nothing crazy,
Right.
how I trade, Clay knows, I do like same lot sizes, same risk.
Yeah, we'll get into your strategy here towards the end
Right.
too, for anybody that wants to know.
What got me in the TopOne? I mean, I just known you, I trusted you. The good things you've had to say about Matt and the others on the team. If you say those things, they're as good as true. For me, I trusted you, and I knew that a lot of the potential, downfalls that exist with a lot of prop firms, I wouldn't have that experience here.
Yeah, for sure. And just like a caveat to that, because like another, there's no sense to name names and stuff, but another one just kind of is having some troubles within the past week, and I actually had some accounts with them for my own personal trading. But still, you may agree or disagree, but I still feel, and this is not even me being biased with TopOne, that despite all that, learning how to trade through a prop firm is, the biggest opportunity that you'll have and the best training ground while it lasts. And it is going to last because there's no other situation if you're trading your own money, which I know you had that experience before, that you have to follow a set of rules, actually have to learn risk management, or you don't get paid, you don't have an account. And there's still plenty of great prop firms out there. You just got to do your due diligence,
And the other thing, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this, the fact that you guys use a regulated broker, because that's where a lot of the problems.
That's literally where all the problems are coming from. So when people
was huge too. I mean, as much as I love you, Clay, the fact that, probably wouldn't have went that way, because that would have been a problem you wouldn't have been able to handle. Wouldn't have mattered if you were there or not.
Yeah, it'd be out of my hands anyways, right?
Right.
So, and that's definitely should be something that anybody takes into consideration, whether you're trading through a prop firm or not. That is massive. So how long had you been with TopOne before you got your payout? Like, was this, and if you don't want to share or not, I mean, was it like your first go, or?
I started that challenge in December at some point, and I did the 2 phase and had a series of good weeks that my trading style, everything matched the market, and I did well, and I ended up even getting my first payout sometime in January. I believe I started it in December. I mean, it could have been late November, maybe. I'd have to check, but I wasn't in it very long. I know I got through the process pretty quickly.
Yeah, no, I remember it was Black Friday. You came in with the Black Friday special.
Okay, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
How much was the payout?
It was over 10 grand. It was like 11.
Awesome, dude. That's amazing. So I think I've shared your story a little bit on our Instagram. Are you open to telling kind of your journey as like through COVID And what happened for anybody that's like maybe doubting themselves or has like a dream, or and majority of people are doing this for their family, right? So, and you have a pretty unique experience with that.
Yeah, my wife. So I used to be a registered nurse also. My wife still is. She's not working at the moment, but we'll get to that. So anyway, she was doing an assignment out in Massachusetts for the Commonwealth, working for the Department of Health. And she was a leader, a team leader, and she would take on these teams and they would go into facilities. All their staff was sick or they were completely overwhelmed and needed additional help, or a combination of the two. For 3 years, we lived in a hotel room. We had a real nice suite set up in one place, but they would satellite light us out to other places. So I was able to be with her. I wasn't working. You know, we had a business go down right before COVID hit, leading into that. So that's what we were both doing. And it was going exceptionally well. Out of our hands, that got shut down. We went from a significant 6-figure income to nothing overnight. You know, you can't replace that. Nursing salaries can't replace that. So we were panic stricken at the time.
Right.
Like, we're going to do. So she had the opportunity to do that. I should have started with that. So that's, you know, financially that, and of course she wanted to help and all of those things, but she had the opportunity to go make surgeon money. You know, we thought it was going to be just a 13-week contract, but we're like, well, this will help, you know, plug some holes until we figure it out. Turned into 3 years. It was exhausting for her, especially at the beginning.
And I met you about halfway through that. Is that about? We met like about halfway through.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yep, about halfway through that. Because I started like I saw a buddy of mine. He was posting things about trading, and I was, and Sherry knew, I like numbers. I like watching numbers. I probably should have been an accountant.
Right. Sherry, your wife.
Yeah, my wife. Sorry. So she always said you should look into trading. And I'm like, no way. I'm not looking into Forex. I've heard so many nightmares, and I wouldn't even look at it. So I finally did, and I was in it for like, I don't know, a year and a half, or maybe something like that. I was trying to, figure my way like everyone.
This was a Forex MLM.
At first, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would say like 90% of the people that are watching this group we're probably talking about. And a lot of people have that same journey.
I wasn't even in it for that aspect at all. Like, I didn't recruit anyone. I think maybe one person just because
you just wanted to trade.
Education. I just wanted to trade. Period.
I think that's what most people do anyways, or really how they get in. And
I started my education with their platform and stuff. And, I got what I could out of it. And I was off and running and losing money. I thought I understood everything because, I studied things, and thought I understood. I just couldn't figure out why I wasn't making money. And I knew that some people were. Drove me nuts. I'm like, I'm missing something. There's some part of this story that, is not in my brain. I'm not processing it right. And I'm making errors. What is it? What's this missing puzzle piece? And that's when I stumbled across your previous educational platform, how we met. I just knew that I needed to connect. And I really did. And I told Sherry, I said, look, this is okay. I'm going to do trade. She knew I've been trying and stuff, and she knew I've been failing, but she was totally supportive. She's like, you'll get it. You'll get it. And I told her, I said, I'm going to come onto your program. And I did. It really filled in the gap for me. And it helped me to where, I can finally, because my goal the whole time was, I don't know how long we're going to be here, but whenever we do leave here, Massachusetts,
the hotel situation.
Right. I'm like, I don't want Sherry to have to work anymore. She has more than paid her dues and carried this family's weight financially and otherwise, figuring out my way, trying to make this whole new career work for me. So I took it very seriously. I studied it. I got on a lot of the live calls we did and, tried to be an active participant. And it still took a while, for me to learn, even when I had access to all the right information, because the ultimate thing I had to learn was these rules and these strategies that you get set up so that you can go out and plan, or trade and, use your trading plan and your strategy and cover your risk. You have to implement it. Like, you you can have all the knowledge in the world, but all of a sudden, when it matters the most, the human nature kicks in, and you just can't help yourself but to over risk, and you can't, or you can't help but taking a trade when you shouldn't because you already got too much on the line, or you're already at your personal threshold for what you're willing to risk. We were just talking about that a little bit ago. Still kind of like every once in a while, not nearly as often, but when I do, it still hurts just like it used to.
Oh, it's a daily endeavor, man, for sure.
Yeah, every day you have to fight that psychological battle.
And so what was the shift? What was the breakthrough? Because I remember when you got funded the first time, and
the breakthrough was really just being around the right people long enough and hearing a lot enough to get it through my thick head, where you had the information. You teach a program that will make people money. Now with TopOne, they have a way that, engage with it, in a way to be safe. And
you're gonna get paid. The payout.
Yeah, I just I don't know. For me, it was just being around long enough to where it finally kicked in, to where finally was able to fight that psychology enough and just actually stick to the rules that I know work. Just long enough to prove to myself, like, oh my God, it's not just theoretical. When you actually do that, you actually win when you have a winning strategy.
That's when it went off to the races for you, because I remember that point. Fast forward a little bit now, you had that breakthrough. What happened with it? Personal dynamic and your family dynamic?
At just the right time, I had to break through. Like last summer is when I first started getting my, significant check. My first 5-figure payout last year too. Last summer with another firm that did actually pay me. So that was the 8,000 one in March. I never did get that. Just in time when her contract ended. They're like, crisis over. You can go, thanks for your service, all of that. I got to make this work, for real, like, consistently. There were glimmers. I was starting to get some paychecks. I was funded. I was over myself in a lot of the ways at that point, but things started coming in, and she hasn't had to work since last June. We just had a beautiful place built. We're in a new lake house right now, and it's all trading, man.
Pulled it off, man. You were like, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to do it. I'm going to stay disciplined, because you have a big enough, what you're saying is you had a big enough why, because she took care of you, that you were going to flip that around, figure this out. Of course, every man wants to do that. Take care of the business, take care of your wife, retired her pretty much, and built a house outside of the city, right? That's where you're at now.
Columbiana, it's beautiful. It's right in Amish country. It's like we pinch ourselves all the time. We go down and get, fresh eggs every day. It's, all the things, all the fresh veggies. I mean, not right now because everything's frozen. It's great. We're really thankful to be here. You just have to take it seriously. Like we were talking before too, when you have trades go the wrong way, and you're in a streak, all of a sudden that's not going well for you, and it happens to everybody. I don't care who I've never met one person, not even someone telling an anecdotal story of how I never had a bad streak.
It just doesn't work that way, because it's a game of statistics.
I remember going back and looking at all of them, like, let's go back on a chart. Where was it at this time? Try to recreate what you were thinking, your decision making. Why did I do this? Like, you learn, and you got to take it seriously like that if you want to get that income, that big income.
How much was your payout with us?
11.4.
11.5, 11.4. How fast did you receive it?
I received it same day. I got notification at night the same day I requested it, and the next morning it was in my bank.
Via Rise.
Via Rise.
Yeah. You like Rise?
I do, yeah.
I think it's awesome.
I'd never used it before. It was seamless.
And did you do bank wire or crypto?
I did bank wire. No fees. I'm like, well, for that much money, I don't know, probably.
Sure. No, that's not how we're doing it. We have our new motto, it's payouts you can count on. We're trying to keep it below 24 hours on the payout. And so and what's support been like?
Support's been great. Every time I've reached out, I've had people reach out to me, congratulate me for, hitting that payout and stuff. And, it's nice. It's small. It's really personal. It's the support. Very, very timely reached out, which luckily hasn't been a lot, but.
Okay. Yeah, well, for sure. And of course, you can text me too, but that's the difference between myself and Matt too. It's not like we're in some like ivory tower or anything like that. We're like in the trenches every single day, and that's how we differentiate ourselves. Would that firsthand? But that's always been how I rolled anyways. So you kind of touched on it, without naming any names, have you had experience with other prop firms?
Yeah, I'm still active with another one that I was active with prior to coming on with you guys. I still have a live account with them, and they've been going through some, trouble, some headline news,
That they dropped US clients.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm still getting my payouts.
Yeah, so I mean that was just more of a
I'm
business.
just not taking on any new ones. That's all. You
Right.
just screw it up if you got one with them.
Yeah, and the reason I bring that up is because like I think it's not that I think, I know from experience, leveraging the power of prop firms, we want you to use us. We want you to find other ones out there, and there's plenty of good ones out there too, and get as much capital as you can so you can retire your family, do really pull through on your dreams, right? I mean, has that been your experience?
For sure. Utilizing, different, and it's nice getting, payouts at different times
So you're splitting it up bi-weekly, and every week you're getting a check.
from somewhere. Yeah. They're not all 11.5, but
Right. Well, that doesn't matter, man. Majority of people, they probably wasn't when you were a nurse either.
No, they were not. No.
Right. And you were in an ICU all day long for like
Yeah,
12
well,
hours, probably three in the morning.
I did 6 12s in a row in CCU as a charge nurse. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No more, man. So, and then I have a couple more questions from the set questions, but really just how has your journey as a trader been? I know it's a broad question.
I
And
think it's been pretty much like anyone else's,
okay.
like
Okay. I love that answer.
scrambling at the beginning, trying to find good information source, someone that they're not just trying to sell you something. It's like, look, I'll buy it. I'll buy from you. You ain't got to sell me that I need something. I know I need something. Do you have what I need? Who am I buying it from? So a lot of wasted money at the beginning buying different kind of programs, things for the chart, whatever. So wasted a lot of money, a lot of time, but I don't really consider any of that wasted because you have to go through that process, I think.
It's not easy. Is it worth it?
Absolutely. See myself doing anything else, like I'm sitting here looking at this lake view, trading all day. I have a puzzle right here on a puzzle table.
Oh, so see, that's good. That'll keep you a little occupied from, just looking at charts.
So I got like little hand things to keep me occupied when I'm in here and a nice view and all that stuff.
And so what you're saying is you've learned ways to keep yourself patient.
Yes.
Okay. I love that, man.
Yeah, it's been like same as anyone else. Fortunately, not everyone stumble or is around long enough and can survive, usually the financial harm that comes at the beginning of the process. They can't survive long enough to find the right people to, lock arms with, get the right information from, and then fortunate enough to actually learn how to implement it. And not just a lot of people. I mean, I'm sure you've had a lot of students over the years. You haven't taught them anything else. You haven't taught me,
Yeah, that's true. And for what it's worth, I'm doing the exact same thing that I taught you how to do.
Right. Yep. I believe it. I know you consistently profit.
Well, you can see my trade setups in Telegram too. So, which I sent one out on Europound earlier. But yeah, man, no, awesome stuff. Like super proud of you. I know Matt is, and all the people on our teams, and the fact that you were our first client and also one of our first payouts, our biggest payouts, and you were the first funded trader. How's that make you feel?
Makes me feel great. Yeah, it really does, because I know this company is going to be around for a long time, and all the fun things you guys are talking about the future. It'll be fun to have been there, from the very beginning with you guys and be a part of the initial growth.
Yeah, you'll have to come to our first like live event, training, retreat, excursion thing we're planning.
Better believe it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Maybe you can come up, teach a little thing or two as well. That'd be awesome. For all the people that are watching that are just like struggling right now, in just like 30 seconds, what would you say to them? Like anybody that's struggling right now, wondering if this is real or, like, should I stick around? And, what would you say to those people?
First of all, the number one thing in my trading, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that, but I can say for me, it's been finally risk management.
That's what I knew you were going to say.
Yeah, because, you can make a lot of good decisions all day, but, unless you have the risk management in place, it's just not going to work. Second thing, if you're still struggling, which, a lot of people probably are that's watching it, but stick it out, stay with it long. I can't tell you how many times I thought for sure this wasn't for me. Like I'd already mentally made the decision over the last, while we were doing the COVID thing before I met you, and even after.
Yeah, I know. I talked you off the ledge more than a couple times.
Yeah, it happens to everyone, even people that eventually become profitable and consistent traders, they still go through that. And you absolutely can be one of those consistent, profitable traders. You got to find the right rules and find the right strategy, completely marry it, disengage yourself from the human side of it as much as possible by implementing the risk management and doing that the right way. And it has to work. No one knows, your keyboard doesn't know who's pressing the buttons. The broker doesn't know who's pressing the button. You're making the trading decisions. You just got to know, why am I pressing the wrong buttons? And it's probably your psychology. So just stick with it until you finally get that click. That's all I can say, because it's so worth it. I can't imagine my life doing anything else right now. So
amazing. Well, Derrick, appreciate your time, man. Thanks for joining me today, and can't wait to see your next payouts.
thanks, man.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much, and we'll be seeing you here soon.
Sounds good. Peace.